resources and you have to set your priorities. So firstly, where do you get your money from? And secondly, is it linked to where you get your money from, where you set your priorities on? So if you get a lot of money from a certain country, does this also influence your decision what data you will analyze or which disasters and countries you will focus on?
No. That's the short answer. I will explain a little bit more. Where do we get our money from? Basically, we have, like every single international organization, we have an administrative budget that is paid by the assessment contributions of member states every year. Each one of the members pays a certain amount of money for being a member of the organization. The UN system is a standard of that. The difference in our case is that that administrative budget is very limited. Whereas in the UN is bigger, in our organization is quite small. So the majority of the funding that we receive is based on voluntary contributions of the states, of the UN, other UN organizations, and also a little bit of private sector, but basically states and the UN. Now, in emergency situations and in response to emergencies, normally there is sufficient funding, that not enough to cover all the needs, but there is a lot of funding coming. You see immediately the moment that an emergency happens, the first thing that we will do, all agencies, we do what we call an appeal for funds, and the major donors that support continuously emergencies, response to emergencies, bring up money, and then that's how we start. In general terms, what we try to do, and our role is to identify the needs and tell the donors these are the needs, and they basically choose which ones they believe that are the more important. That obviously is done by the donors, with us, and with the affected country, because the affected country has a very important role to play. It's also something that they coordinate among themselves, the donors, the big donors. There are 10, 15 countries that are the major donors for every single organization, and that cover the majority of the costs of these responses. Now, with regard to the data, no, we choose the data very much in relation with, first of all, our presence in a country. We are a large organization. We have 9,000 staff members. I don't know, we are present in about 160 countries. And depending on our presence and our capacity, that is one determinant. The second determinant is if the government wants us to get data or not, because if the government doesn't want us to do it, we will not do it. So there are a lot of variables that come into a decision of where to put. And then obviously there is the needs. In places where there are more needs, we know, for example, and everybody knows that there are some countries that are prone to natural disasters. So in those countries,